Hey, it's Curly, and it's been a while since I've uploaded. Unfortunately, I've come back to some very unfortunate news. The previous time I took a break and came back, I came back with some Teppen. Had a lot of fun with that. This time around, I was kind of considering doing that, but I was like, oh, I'll wait till the summer. Turns out, can't really do that. Because I bring to you, if you didn't know already, the unfortunate news that Teppen has reached its end of service. Which is kind of tragic to an extent. But I want to talk about that today. So as of recording this, this is coming out, I think, the 31st of March, 2026. I'll be recording this on the 30th of March. But as you can see here, here's the end of service notification. They released it since December. Unfortunately, I only found out about it last week, and I haven't had time to actually play and look into it until now. The game has been around since 2019, which is crazy. I did remember uploading just when it came out, or uploading videos for Teppen just when it came out. But as of right now, it is at end of service. I believe it specifically goes down. This is PT, which is Pacific time, which is, I think, 5 o'clock my time, which is in 49 minutes. But I think when I saw, I wasn't able to play ranked anymore. However, you're probably wondering, well, how I'm still playing this. Because they've actually decided to keep the game up and have an offline version. So you'll still be able to play Teppen, play against the story and the challenges and all that other stuff. You just can't play against people, and there'll be no longer updates for the game. Which is pretty cool. Honestly, I wish a lot of games did this. I know that another one of the games that I played, it sucks because they gave out so many rewards, I'm assuming, right? But I missed out on all of it, and there's a bunch of missions that I'm sure expire in 2 minutes that I'm not going to be able to get. All right, I don't know if these dailies will continue, how that's going to work, and there's these event missions that just expire. Don't know how that's going to work, but yeah, there's another game that I played, which was another Capcom IP, which was Mega Man X Dive. That reaches end of service as well, but they kept the offline version as well, which is pretty cool that Capcom has done that twice. Unfortunate that they've released 2 mobile games with solid premises that did not go well for several different reasons, and that's kind of what I wanted to go over today. As you can see here, I can no longer play ranked because of the fact that, you know, the servers are down, right? I don't know if I can do free match against a computer or something like that. Oh, it looks like my decks are gone too. Is that what it is? Because I don't see any of my older decks that I had. Let's take a look at that real quick. Because I'm curious to see how this game works on offline mode. Oh no, okay, so here are my decks. I just couldn't use it in that specific free play mode. Because yeah, I remember I had Morgan, Oichi, who I really liked. I built Amaterasu, but never really used it. And the deck I really liked was, I think, not Jill, but yeah, the Ryu deck, I believe. But I'm not even sure anymore. It's just been so long. But I wanted to man, that sucks. They had a tournament too. I found a tournament. I didn't really get to follow Teppen all that much, to be honest. Unfortunately, I played it when it first came out. I kind of enjoyed it, and it was fine. It was definitely an interesting experience, because I think at the time the only thing I had played was Hearthstone and Duel Links, right? Because that was really early on, before CCGs, if that's what these are called, really started, you know, becoming a thing. So Teppen was definitely very interesting, considering the fact that you can just do so many different things with it. Sorry, I was reading the thing and I'm just saying stuff. It was interesting just because of the fact that you can play in such a different way compared to the other card games, right? Because Duel Links is Duel Links, and Hearthstone is Hearthstones, and you could argue most of them are derivative of Magic, or just in general how physical TCGs play. But I feel Teppen was one of the few games that actually, you know, granted Hearthstone did this as well, but Teppen to an even greater degree, it took the fact that it was on a mobile device And I don't really know. I guess I'll keep my hand. I don't know. I'm just booting this up just to boot it up at this point. But it was one of the few games that really took advantage of the fact that it was on mobile, right, and made it unique to that, which I think is pretty cool. The fact that it actually did that. Whereas, like, you know, like I said, the other games, they were more similar to like actual physical TCGs. And I kind of really like that, but I also feel like that kind of hurt the game at the same time, right? Because it was just something completely different from like everything else. But I personally could never really get into it that much, just because I was never a super huge fan of Capcom stuff. Like, the few things that I did enjoy from Capcom, I liked, but I was never like to the point where I would play a Capcom specific IP game like this, right, for much of a long time. Which is why, like, I didn't really spend a lot of time, unfortunately, with Teppen. Just because, like, I had no real connection with all of the cards, right? Aside from Battle Network, which didn't come out until way later, unfortunately. Or I think, you know, further than when I started playing. And that was really the only thing that I would have cared about at that point. Because that's the only Capcom IP that I really personally care about. But unfortunately, I also don't think it did well for, like, people that, like, actually like Capcom IPs, which is a bit unfortunate. And one of the things that I super liked about Teppen, aside from the fact that I mentioned that it has, like, that whole really makes good use of the fact that it's a mobile game, right, is also the fact that it does something that I, you know, never thought I would see in a card game, because this is a bit of a controversial opinion. And I understand that, and I'm totally fine with that, but I've never really felt that in card games, when it comes to like skill and skill expression, I've never really found a game that's like really good at displaying that, because of the fact that the way cards games work, right? Between power creep, between you having to buy product, between you constantly have to upgrading your deck, right? Between basically all of the cards essentially doing the same thing in the same person's hand, right? So I always had this problem trying to, I guess, figure out what skill actually looked like in a card game. And again, maybe this is a really controversial opinion, I get that. Maybe in whatever card game you play, or you have examples of it, that's fine. I myself, I just personally feel like if you took two players, right, and gave those two players the same deck, the same game, right? They're playing the same type of game. Okay, so you do get rewards, which is nice. You pay the same type of game. Oh, I actually do get some of these rewards. That's nice. Hopefully I get everything. That would be insane if you just play the game once, you get every reward. Looking like that's the case. That's cool. I guess I managed to play this at just the right time. Okay, cool. Just have to do one more battle for the last one. But you give two players the same exact deck in the same exact game, right? And they play that game, then I feel like, because of the way most card games are, you'll get the same results if both players have, you know, enough time and they like reach like the peak of player, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but like if they're both like the best players, right? Two of the best players, they both know how to read really good and they know how to play all their cards and know all the interactions, right? If you take two of the same players like that, and then give them two of the same exact deck, and have them play two of the same exact opponents, you know, in terms of deck wise, I feel like there's really not much of a difference in terms of how the deck is played. Because to me, I feel like competitive players or really skillful players will see all of the possible lines of that you can make in a game and make the right choice, right? Because it's somewhat arbitrary. Like there's like, you know, arbitrary is probably not the right word. There's like maybe like 5 different ways most times you can go with a specific hand or board state or whatever, right? And depending on what your opponent has and all the other factors, putting aside RNG, right? I feel like both these hypothetical players will always just pick the most beneficial option, right? So in essence, how do you tell what a skillful player is if at high level everyone's just playing you know, the best option, right? It's kind of what I'm getting at. All that to say is that felt kind of different in Teppen because of the fact that it had this physical component to it, where I had to play. It had a physical and like a timing component, which card games just don't have, right? Because of the fact that the way Teppen works, you have to play cards at a specific time, right? So you can get the timing right. So even if in this situation, those hypothetical players that I was talking about, even if they're like super well versed and equally well versed and whatnot, they will still, you know, maybe not have the same reflex speed or something like that, right? They might make different lapse adjustments in terms of timing, right? They might have different hand-eye coordination, right? All that stuff would be really different. So Teppen really added that sort of sense of like, oh, okay, this is like a game where you can tell the difference between a skillful player and a non-skillful player to an extent. If that kind of makes sense. It does kind of come down to the same argument, because it's kind of the same thing when like let's say if you do basketball and you do a shootout competition between two of the best players, the best shooters, right? More likely they're just not gonna miss, right? More than likely they're just gonna not miss, and it's just gonna keep going on to whoever possibly makes the mistake, which may come down to like physical fatigue or whatever the case may be, right? And then like same thing with Teppen, there's like a bit of like technical execution or physical execution, I don't know what the right word is, but like you can actually misplaying in like a card game is like, oh, I played the wrong card because it's not, I could have played this better card, or because like I thought this, etc. But presumably really good players don't have that issue, right? They don't make those kinds of misplays, at least not as often. Whereas like here in Teppen, I can actually physically play the card in the wrong, you know, spot. So there's a bit more of like actual room for player error, I guess. But then at the same time, right, I can play it at the wrong time, right? So I feel like there's a lot more depth, and it's a lot easier to tell like who's the more skillful player. Is my long-winded explanation of me trying to glaze Teppen as it's already gone, right? And I feel like I just haven't seen that in any other card game that well. Like when it comes to like, let's say, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I feel like you already know who the best, you already know like if two people are playing and they're really good, right? And they give them two of the same decks, if they play each other, it really just comes down to RNG on who wins, right? And personally, I just feel like that's the case for most TCGs, is that it's just kind of chess, but with RNG to it. But that might just mean, you know, I have to play different TCGs, better TCGs that are maybe more skill expressive or play expressive, right? Because I know there's stuff, there's the fact that I've been playing a lot of Vanguard, Cardfight Vanguard, specifically the standard format, where there's not really a lot of that sort of skill and player expression, because it's kind of comes down to like either you make the right choice or a bad choice, right? So it feels more like you're in a puzzle solving competition, if that makes sense, right? For some of these card games, whereas just like you just have to find the right answer. But if you're super skilled, you just find the right answer, and if there's no timing to it, right? It's not like find the right answer quickest, it's just find the right answer. Then every player is just going to find the right answer. I think that's a better example to list it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about Teppen, I guess. But like I said, I personally couldn't really get into it because of the fact that I just didn't really like Capcom that much, right? Like if this was like a Shonen Jump game or something like that, this whole channel would have just been Shonen Jump Teppen or whatever, right? I just would have instantly just only played that, right? So if it was like something like that I was a lot more into, I would have ate it up. And it was just a really unique experience, but it is unfortunate that it is gone now. I don't know if after the fact, if you're allowed to play this game again. Like if you never played Teppen before and you went to try and download it now, if you would be able to do so. I don't know. I don't know why I keep saying I have 88 challenges. Okay. I don't know if that's the case. But yeah, hopefully down the line there's like a video of some like Teppen YouTuber that does a video like history of Teppen and just goes over like how the game was, the metagame for it, and where it like failed and whatnot. Because I don't really know why it failed. I'm sure the monetization was part of the issue, right? Because of when it came out, DLC, especially for like mobile games, wasn't like super highly thought of in the best light. Maybe that was it. Maybe there wasn't enough tournament support. I don't know. But I'm really just waffling and rambling here at this point. I just wanted to give Teppen a good adieu, especially as someone that's come from a lot of games like this. I've already seen Vanguard Zero go. I didn't get to play Dragalia Lost as much as I wanted to. I love the game from afar, and I only played it like literally 5 hours or something like that, and I just could not pick it up myself, and I wanted to play it more, and then it was just gone. And then recently Shadowverse, the original Shadowverse is getting sunset as well. But at the same time, we have stuff like Duel Links that just reached its 9th anniversary, and they finally put in the Doma arc, right? We just got, or we're just right now getting Amelda or Alisher, which I thought we would never get in that game. I also thought we'd never have Duel Links in 2026, right? But here we are, you know? Stranger things, I guess, will continue to happen. But in any case, that's all I have for you today. Uploads will continue throughout the rest of the month. Pokemon Champions coming up, another mobile game. I'm going to try and cover that. And there's a bunch of other stuff that I've already recorded and put up on the channel. So look forward to that. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Rest in peace, Teppen, and have yourself a damn good one.